And this week, I figured I would talk about this post that I had, this reel that I shared 2 weeks ago on Instagram that just like took off and has currently over 1.1 million views, over 30,000 shares, which is like crazy to me. Like that is, I don't know, a million times more shares that I typically get. So I, shared this, and I'll tell you what it's about in a minute. You can definitely go check it out on my Instagram if you wanted to. So I shared this feature of ChatGPT, and the designers that are commenting on it like love the feature or like see value in how it can speed up the workflow. This was at this point in time shared to like 1% of my actual followers, right? Because everybody else came in and there's like, over 1 million views. So 99% of the people that have seen this video are not interior designers and have opinions. So I actually shut off commenting on this just because I went to a funeral and like could not keep up with all of it. And people were saying just like some really not nice things that like, I just don't want on my page, like that's the good thing about this like social media thing. And something that I never did before was that you can just block people if you don't like them, like, and then just be done with it. Like these are not people that benefit in any way to my well-being. So I figured I'm just going to block whoever I feel is just being a nasty human being. So the trolls came out. They were blocked. You can actually still comment on this if you are following me. Okay, so I didn't shut it off completely. It was just like all these stupid things. Like I don't have the time for this right now. And they're just mean. So not something I want associated with my Instagram account. So anyway, this really kind of sparked some interesting conversations and things that I want to talk about today. Like concerns, like job concerns or like positive things that could come from this feature. But before I do that, let me tell you what this reel is about. Okay. So if you go to my Instagram, it's jenna.gaidusek, Gaidusek. And you can see this. It'll be pushed down a little bit by now, but it's under reels. And so I basically come on and I'm just like, okay, so there's this feature that just came out, though technically it didn't at this time, just so you know, like that day, OpenAI had done a release that 4.0, as in Omega, was released to ChatGPT, which is basically going to be bringing in a lot more conversational, like humanized interaction with the GPT when you have a voice-to-voice conversation with it. I do this through the app a lot, and this has been a feature, but they're improving it to make it be just more natural conversation and more intuitive and understanding of like human emotion and things like that. So currently at this time of the video, like I was not able to like, but this is coming, so they say. I was not able to like open the app, have a conversation, show what was around me, and then have it analyze that. I did open the app, have the conversation, and then take a picture while I was in the app of my wallpaper. Okay. So that was one thing that got people's panties in a bunch. This was not technically released at that time for 4.0, but it was the same day that it came out with this information. So that's kind of why I was talking about it, just being like, did you know that this already exists? Like, because this is crazy and it's only going to get crazier. So then I go on to basically show the conversation that I had with this GPT. So I, if you listen to this podcast, have built many GPTs that just do one specific task, do that task very well for my interior design business. One of them being my design assistant GPT. My design assistant GPT has a very streamlined task. And basically what it does is it does client onboarding and like creating the client profile from all my notes that I take, and then imagery that my clients have selected for my onboarding questionnaire, which has AI imagery inside, so that we can get on the right page for the design. Okay, so it does that, it compiles all that information, and then the next thing it does is creates a mood board or flat laying type thing. using the client profile. So from there, it creates that. I have little conversations with it. I can create renderings, I can create artwork, I can create textiles. And then that's the workflow. Like that's it. It is for inspiration. It is for a jumping off point based on the project criteria that I provide it with. So that's all this guy does, right? But I wanted to, because I've been doing that like on a daily basis using this, and this is actually available for designers. You could purchase it separately, or it is included in the AI Expert Professional membership and also the ChatGPT class. So other designers use this, right? So like they've been training it on like workflow, and it's just getting better and better and stronger since I developed it like 6 months ago. So I basically use that, and my ChatGPT account has been like training on design and workflows for a year. Like this, I didn't just jump in here and have this work for me. Like there's a lot of training that I've been doing for my ChatGPT. Okay, so when I got some comments where it's like this doesn't work, or you manipulated the video, like no, I didn't. This is how ChatGPT works. Like you train it, it learns, and then it gives you what you want. Okay, so that's where I did this. The only thing I edited out of this entire video was to turn it from 2.5 minutes down for the thinking time. I kind of cropped that out so that it was under 90 seconds for the Instagram reel. So for all you haters out there saying that I manipulated this, I don't have time for that shit. Come on. I just edited it down. Okay, so anyway, what I did was I had this conversation, and I was like, okay, I need you to find some hex colors, some paint colors that will go with my wallpaper. So you know me, you know that I never want to upload artwork, another designer's imagery, all that stuff. But for this situation, I literally have it in my living room or in my kitchen on the little eating area. And so I took a picture, like, I live showed me taking the picture in this video of the wallpaper. I'm not trying to copy this wallpaper. Like, that's why I did this. Like, this was just simply to extract information from it. Okay. So I grabbed this picture, and then I was like, okay, analyze this and give me the hex codes for corresponding colors that you see. Number one, this is in no way accurate, right? Like, this is a starting point to get you to the part of your deck faster that works with those colors. Okay, so this is not like oh well, we saw it there, so now it equates to that. Like, there's lighting involved, there's like, you're using a camera. Like, it was dark in my room when I shot this video. Like, this is a jumping off point. I'm not going to take these hex codes and these paint color recommendations and go to the paint store and then just paint my walls. Like, that is not what this is. Okay, so also addressing those types of questions that I had in the chat thread. So what I did was I had it give me the hex codes, and I was like, I wonder if I can take this a step further. Can you give me Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams paint color selections that correspond with these hex codes? And then it did. Okay. And then I was like, great, now create a concept board using this. And it created like a kind of a twisted version of the wallpaper. It was like, I don't know, C-list. It was odd compared to like my actual wallpaper. And it gave me hex codes, and it gave me okay, and so it gave me hex codes, and then it gave me a list of paint colors. Honestly, like in the ballpark, but not exact. Okay, I will say, I did this a year ago. All right, so I hung this wallpaper a year ago. And then what I actually did for the color read, not that I can't choose paint colors myself, but like I love that color confidence that comes with having a color reader. So I use it's called Easy Color Reader. I actually don't know where it is at the moment, or else I would, for the YouTube watchers, I would show you. You can get it on Amazon. I've literally had this guy for like 4 years now. And so it links to your phone, and what you do is you just put it on a surface, and then it extracts the colors. Okay. So it'll give you like color reads on it, but also it will give you suggested paint colors for whatever brand you're looking for that it has programmed. And there's a lot of programmed brands in there. So, you can kind of move it around. You can like see different options, and they'll start popping up. You'll get your hex code. I think you guys, like other color data from what it's reading as well. So then for me, that's always where I have been like, okay, great. I can now go to that part of my deck and pull out my samples and look at this in real time. Now, if you watched last week's episode with Lori Sawaya of now, if you watched last week's episode with Lori Sawaya from Camp Chroma, she talks about all the color science and how she uses AI to integrate and to, just show different things that she couldn't before. She knows her stuff, okay? What I'm talking about is just kind of like what I've always done with my college level education of color theory, okay? So for me, I love selecting color, but I don't use the science behind it like Lori does. Which is honestly pretty foolproof, and I probably should be, but this is my way, okay? So I use a color reader, and then I make my actual selections based off the color education that I have had in my career. So that's what I did, okay? I selected 3 different colors. I painted my island, I painted the wall next to this wallpaper, and then I painted like a peach color in my pantry off the kitchen. So also, if you're looking at my YouTube video, you'll see my wallpaper in my office also now translates to those same colors. Before it was black with flowers. I got this one specifically because it goes with the other colors in the house. All right. So there's a lot of fun comments in there that's like, oh, well, this is inaccurate. Like, you should never paint your, use these selections. I'm like, I know, I didn't. So anyway, but if I were to like take the output that it gave me and go and like, go to incolorpedia.com and then, or .org or whatever it is, and like run that hex code and then find other paint colors, if I wasn't getting what I needed from this ChatGPT reply, that's another way to do this. All right. I mean, another way that you've been able to do for a very long time is literally take the sample of a wallpaper or whatever you're trying to match. Maybe it's a piece of art. Go to either Canva or Photoshop and extract the color from that using the eyedropper tool and find a hex code there. Now, hex codes aren't paint colors, right? But it's a good place to get us to the right area that we're going to need to make the selections for. And we can use like these conversion sites to figure out even more information for actual paint colors. So you can take this info and you can then make your selections. It is a starting point, friends. Okay. Like that is what AI is. I don't want to get preachy, but like, this is what I talk about all the time. It is an enhancement. It is not going to replace you. Like, I would not do the things that it told me to do, but it got me to a place faster. And we know as designers, time is money. So if we can streamline some of our workflows using technology, yeah, we're going to do it. We can make more money. We can see more clients. We can build our business to a higher scalable level. And AI helps with that in literally every way, like from marketing to your design flow and work process, where you can cut out all that back and forth and searching for the perfect pictures or for concept imagery. You can make your presentations faster. You can do all of this stuff faster and more efficient, and honestly, sometimes more accurately than we could before, because having our foundational design knowledge literally will supercharge with AI so that we can be more productive, we can be more accurate, we can cut down on returns and back and forth and sell our design plans in a more efficient way so that people can visually understand. This is becoming the normal, right? Like, I've been doing this since 2015 with virtual design, but for a lot of people, they didn't get on the bandwagon until the pandemic. And that's only been 3.5 years ago that they started doing this. So there's communication levels that we can expedite and just communicate visually. Our clients are expecting it at this point, whether it's going to be, these conversations using the conceptual imagery that we can create in Midjourney, previously that we were grabbing from Pinterest. Now it's all done in-house and done in a matter of minutes versus searching forever. Okay. So I just want to talk about some of the comments that I haven't already addressed from this, because some of them are interesting, honestly. And so here's one that I got. Okay, so Designer Rose Interiors. She says, no one is upset about all those phone operators who lost their jobs. New jobs show up when tech evolves. The phone operators lost their jobs and now are app creators. Well, not the same people, but maybe lineage. It's not always black and white. Embrace the tech. It's fun. Make it work for you. This was a great demo. Thank you. So that hits the nail on the head, right? Like, we evolve. Like, that is what this next step in technology using artificial intelligence is literally all about. The next step in evolution as a human species. Okay. So what we can do now is just a higher caliber. And so the designers and the people in the world that are not using these things will become obsolete very quickly. Okay. We've seen it happen time and time again with so many industries. I mean, the phone here, like, let's kind of relate that phone operator thing to like what our current situation could be. Now we're seeing AI replacements for customer service calls. So very streamlined, very personable. They sound like people and they answer questions as like a pre-screen, but with more advanced answers and interaction than what we previously had. Like, right? Because we've always had kind of those robo repliers where you can like talk to it, but like, it's like, say that again. I didn't hear you. Now it's becoming like, you don't know if that's a real person or not because of the conversation. I'm pretty sure that I got a call after I set up a business on using an online service from one of these AI robocallers. But like, it was, I couldn't tell. I was like, to my husband, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what this is right now. Just with like the brief pause and then the reply. It is a Mark Cuban company. So I would assume that, it probably is using the AI tech. So anyway, I see this as kind of the same thing, right? Like, they're not being replaced. It's now part of a screening process. So instead of waiting as a consumer for, an hour and a half on the phone or like putting in and getting a call back, you might be able to just get those answers faster by talking to an AI bot on the phone. And then if you can't, then there is another series of customer service people behind that. They're still working. There's still people that can connect with you. It's not all digital. It's not all AI, but it makes their job more efficient to cut down on the calls that they don't have to answer because they could previously be addressed. A lot of generations just won't go online and they won't do the website searches to see if the information's on there. They just want to call somebody, and there's no problem with that, but it's not efficient for businesses to have that. So this just kind of changes and adapts to the new technology that exists to help us to work more efficiently, right? I personally don't see this cutting out jobs. I think that this will create new jobs. So, you might have people that are doing analytics, kind of fueling the information for these bots to figure out like, what are the most frequently asked questions? How can we address this? How can we add more menu of services so that we can streamline this and get customers their answers faster before they have to wait to speak to us? Or if they do have to speak to us, now we're available for them. So that, and like, most companies in the next, my prediction is in the next 1 to 3 years, will have some kind of a technology AI advisor on their team. And that person, while everybody else is doing their jobs, will be looking for ways within that company to make their jobs more efficient using AI technology. So their job is to research, stay on top of it. That shouldn't be everybody's job. Like, I love doing that and I love teaching designers, but I do it because designers don't want to do that. I also love it, but designers shouldn't and don't want to learn about the latest and greatest that comes out every single week, right? Every week there's something new. Every day there's something new. There's a million apps out there that are competing for your attention. Which one do you go with? You need an AI person that understands the business and can help you to achieve a higher status using the AI tech. that is out there. Okay, so that's a new job that helps other jobs that people work at. Okay. Um, I found this to be a really great comment here from Joshua Jones. He's a wonderful virtual designer. I've known him for a very long time in the virtual space. So Joshua, I hope you don't mind that I mention this and your incredible talents. But he commented and said, to me, it's a very similar situation I had about 10 years ago when I was starting doing 3D rendering for my design works. At that time, so many interior designers thought I was crazy and a huge waste of time to present my works via 3D renderings. Now, so many interior designers are using 3D renderings in their works. The point is, give them time to get used to the concept and they will eventually use it at some point. Some designers like you and me will tend to pick up the newest tools and resources quick and get ahead of all of us. I mean, so true. Like, with 3D modeling, it's still like I still model. I still, like, for accuracy, go in and do my renderings and put everything to scale and change all the pieces and all that stuff. AI is not there yet. Eventually, yeah, it's probably going to be there. But this is just like e-design, right? Like, for those of us that have been doing it for now, same with Joshua, like close to 10 years, we've been doing this and we understand the need because it cuts out time. So that's the same thing with AI. So those that were on the e-design bandwagon early are probably going to be some of the first adapters to use artificial intelligence as well. But also designers that missed that boat and were against it until COVID hit, they're now, some of them are changing their tune where they're like, okay, tell me more about this AI stuff. It's interesting. I see a diverse group of designers that are interested in AI just from the community that I'm forming on Instagram. And I love it. I love that all corners of the internet are like coming together. Everybody's interested in this. I see a lot of luxury interior designers that are embracing AI. So I think a lot of them, and I'd love to have one to interview on the show, but I think that a lot of them are using it for the AI generative imagery to be able to communicate their ideas with their clients before implementing, before spending any money on that. And also for product design and things like that, where they can really create really hyper customized products or ideas for architectural elements that are really hard to convey. I can't sketch to save my life. Like, I've been saying this for years. That's why I communicate visually, virtually, using renders and imagery, because I wish I had that skill, but I do not. And I am envious of everybody that does. So this is for those people too. And I hope that people will continue to learn to sketch. I know that my daughter's really good at sketching, but I don't know that a lot of the future generations are going to pick up a pen and paper and do that. So being on the forefront of this, if you're kind of mid-range, and I'm going to give you an honest truth here, if you're mid-range in your career right now, you're not retiring, but you're not like new to this, there's going to be a whole new wave of interior designers coming out of school. And we thought rendering was going to be intense, right? There's going to be a whole new wave of AI using interior designers in the next 10 years that are going to be fighting for the jobs. And if you do things in a certain way that is not efficient, it's going to be hard for you, is all I'm going to say. Like, the competition is going to be fierce. A lot of people are going to think like they have been, that they are interior designers because they have this technology. I also did a reel about that one where it's like, oh, here's some AI images and they were all like a hot mess. I'm going to just take these and implement my design type thing. But like, that's just not the reality. You can't go from one thing from one concept to like actual fabrication of it, right? Like, we need designers and people in this industry with knowledge to take it off a screen and bring it to real life. It's no different than Pinterest images, right? Like, it's the same thing. They're all fake because they're all on a computer screen. Like, yes, Pinterest images probably mostly exist, but it's not helping you implement anything into your actual home. And I think that's where a lot of our clients get stuck. Like, so many ideas, but no way to pull them all together and implement them. So that for us will always be there. I don't see us being eliminated. I know some people do. I do not. I see us as this top tier service. Well, it doesn't even have to be top tier. There's so many different ways we could work, right? With so many different people. And it doesn't have to be full service. It can be an hour of your time. They can show you their AI images over a Zoom call for an hour and just validate those concerns that they had. Just say like, hey, I created these. Here's my space. Do you think this would work? Sure. There's $300 for you if you charge that for an hour or 2 hours for a video consultation. There is always going to be people that want your knowledge and your unique perspective. And AI does not live in the real world. They don't understand the functionality of how humans work. They might be able to speak to you like a human, but they don't understand that, like, you can't put a sofa in front of the fireplace at this point in time with the back to it. Like, that's actually something you want to be facing or see in the space. So yeah, it's going to get better, but so aren't we. Like, we're just going to take this technology and run with it and enhance it. And it doesn't have to be in everything. Like this whole Reel thing that I'm talking about, like, this is just one tiny little piece of what we do as interior designers. We select paint colors to go with our design plan, but like, think about the hundreds of other decisions that we make in a space. So, there were some comments on here where it's like, oh, wow, you can do that, but anybody can do that. Yeah, sure. If you want to go make your own paint selections, go for it. But did you remember every single other element to design your brand new house? Do you know, the trim details? Do you know the hardware details? Do you know the placement? Do you know the size? Do you know what vanity is going to fit where? And what type of faucet you need to go with that? Like, no, the majority of people are not going to make well-educated product selections and material selections for their home. You can ask ChatGPT what the best selections are going to be, but is it accurate for you and your home and your climate? Who knows? Who knows, right? And that could, again, be a very costly mistake. So we are here to pull ideas together to create unique and inviting spaces for our clients using our professional vision and our professional knowledge of everything that we've learned from doing this for so long. So there's a lot to be said. I think I've said most of it at this point with this Reel. Actually, that's not true. There's a lot more I could say about this, but I don't think it's going to be very nice. So I'm going to not say it. It's an interesting Reel. It's an interesting conversation. If you want to go check it out. If you follow me, you're welcome to comment. For everybody else, you are not. Because, wow. Honestly, I'm going to leave you with this. The majority of the people that commented on here that had very strong opinions about selecting color using this app format that I did was what looked like very lonely men that probably still lived at home in their mom's basement and were either like, oh, this is so stupid. Why would you, all those types of comments, which you probably won't see very much of because I've hidden them. Or they were the ones that were like, just so like, oh, they're going to take our jobs and it's going to like take over the world, like sci-fi extremists. And they're like so against AI, which is funny because I think they would be the perfect candidate for an AI girlfriend. Like that type of guy, AI girlfriends all the way for you guys. So we'll see them with some online girlfriends, I imagine, in the next year or two once they start to get on the AI bandwagon. But those aren't really opinions that I want include on my social media, so they've been hidden. But for everybody else that had a really great insight, or even if it didn't agree with like where I want to go with this conversation, there's great insight and there's great comments on this, like probably close to like 800 or 900 comments at this point. So it's interesting and it definitely sparks a conversation. And people have opinions one way or another, or they're not sure yet about how they feel about it. It's early. And while I am also, cautious about where this could potentially go, if we don't educate on ethics and use case and like the actual capabilities where we currently sit and where those could potentially be and misuse of it all, then we're not doing anybody a good service, right? We still have to talk about all those things. We have to be very hyper aware of what could potentially happen with this technology. And we have to just make sure that we are making individually the right decisions, the things that we think are right, to use this technology in a safe way. So that's always what I teach. Every single presentation, I always talk about 3 things that I do and don't do using technology, AI technology in my design business. And I just hope others are doing it too. I know they're not, but hopefully there's going to be regulations put in place. I would love to see that because it is the Wild West out there. So anyway, that is all I wanted to talk about with today's reel. I will also link it in the show notes. I am going to Disneyland this weekend with our family. So I might just record next week's podcast, which will also just be me. I've had some really great guests on in the past few weeks. So if you don't already subscribe and you want to learn more about how other designers and industry members are using AI, I highly recommend you listen. I don't like to drone on and on with these podcasts, so they're fairly short. You can probably just binge it in an afternoon while you're doing your laundry or while you're designing. I don't know. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you next time.